Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his good friend, Mr. Brian Leba. How you doing, sir?
Hey guys, how are you?
So we just talked about Las Vegas crashing 40%. We talked about prices going down 15K in a month. We talked about inventory mix. We talked about cancellations. Las Vegas market is falling apart no matter how you look at it. Is that a fair summary?
Oh, we're selling doom and gloom over here, guys.
Oh, we are, dude. It's horrible, horrible,
Yeah.
horrible.
Oh man, it's funny.
Hey, but I want to take a snapshot at August and kind of the rest of the year. You've said a couple of times now we might be in the first salvo or the first inning and a half of this, and that means there's more to come. If you were going to kind of paint the vision for the rest of the year, starting with August, how do you see these innings playing out?
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, so much of this is going to be predicated upon if and when the government does anything to try to boost the housing market. I mean, right now, it's this is what they want. They want people to stop spending money, so they're succeeding. Fantastic. But at some point, they're going to have to drop rates and start intervening. So it's a question of, some people think that this is going to happen Q3, Q4. I tend to think that it's going to be later. I think it's going to be more like Q2 next year. That's just my
Yeah,
personal opinion.
that's what my broken crystal ball says too.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be Q2 next year. I think you can count on the government to be highly reactive, never proactive. So I would always bet against that. As far as the market itself, I mean, like we discussed in the previous video, we're in a stage where not every seller comes to the table on board. People are still adjusting to this new market, and as you call it, wish pricing. There's still a decent amount of that, certainly upon the initial listing. So you're starting to see a lot of these sellers that wanted to sell for various reasons withdraw their listings because now they're realizing that they're never going to get what they wanted or needed to get out of the property. So the hard part now we're getting to the point where properties have been listed for 30 days, almost 60 days for some of these properties, which we haven't seen, obviously in years. So now we're getting to the point where, all right, let's disseminate between who wants and who needs. Now things are going to get really, really, really interesting. This is where some of the deals start developing. It's still a little bit early, but again, like we've said, there's some sellers that are just so bearish and so desperate that they're willing to just dump it. Some of these make sense. Most of them don't. But the big part is going to be how consumers react, what buyer behavior. Again, perception is reality. So the numbers that I shared with you guys on Tuesday on my channel, that should be released any day now. Now, the question is, once this makes headlines and it's on, in the newspaper, on television, then people believe what they see. And once you see, a $15,000 decline, sales down 40%, you can't spin that. You just can't spin it. So now the question is going to be, of the buyers that are active, how many of those buyers are still willing to move forward? And if they do move forward, they're going to want to insulate, and wisely so. There's no way that I'm going to pay what the last guy paid for a house. So I need to buy it for 5% less, 10% less. Then I'm willing to buy as long as I feel that I'm insulated a little bit from what's obviously depreciation on the horizon. So this is why I say it's still the opening salvo. It's still the first inning and a half, because we haven't even seen how buyers are going to respond. They haven't even received this news yet. So once these buyers receive this news here in the next week or so, this month's going to be very, very interesting. How many listings are going to get withdrawn? How many buyers are going to get scared and back out of contracts? How many buyers of brand new homes are going to say, you know what, why take this risk? Why take the risk? My house over here is not the greatest, but I've got a 2.75 mortgage, and you know what?
Not moving.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of movement over the next few months. But again, look, this is summertime. This is the best time for real estate, and sales are down 40%. And, it's like the real estate world is crashing. So how is this going to be? I said, 3 months ago, when everything started trending 2 months ago, when everything started trending for the inventory levels, I said we could be easily at 10,000 homes by Halloween. And that's literally exactly where we're trending to. And with sales down so much, 10,000 homes, yeah, when we're selling 3,000 homes a month, that doesn't sound that bad. But when you're selling 1,500 homes a month, that's a huge difference. Now you're talking almost 7 months supply of inventory.
Yeah.
That's huge. So again, there's going to be a lot of pain on the horizon, I feel. And especially as you get in our market, once you get to the beginning of November, yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap,
Yeah.
especially for family type homes. You're not going to really see much activity until the end of January. So how many of these sellers are going to be hyper motivated and just dump? It's going to be a long winter.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long winter.
So when I look at Vegas, again, as somebody who's watched the market but relies on the great stuff you put out, I think it's fair to say that August is, we're going to likely end August with more inventory than we started. Kind of a fair assumption.
I think that's guaranteed. I would be surprised if we got to have at least 1,000 more net
Yeah.
homes.
Yeah. So more to choose from.
Yeah.
I also think August will probably start a trend of disproportionate withdrawals or expireds or whatever you want to call that. Basically, hey, I took a shot, I'm staying put, so on and off. I think that'll be higher than normal. I think price continues down. I don't know if it's another 15,000 like July, but it's something. And that's the whole inventory mix, right? The inventory mix says that's going to pull it that way.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, I think new home builders. I think new home builders are going to keep offering discounts, throwing 50 grand at people. But I also think what we haven't talked about, I think builders slow the hell down. I think they cancel new communities or whatever they do in there. They used to build 12 a month. Now they're going to build 4. I think builders really slow down. What do you think?
No, 100%. I mean, the difficult aspect is you've got so many building permits pulled and you've got so many of these properties that are being built out. So I think what you're going to find is once we get to October, November, December, there's going to be a tremendous amount of standing inventory because I don't think these builders already have purchase orders. They're not going to stop.
No, they're going to finish this batch, but then they're not going to start the next one.
Right. They're just going to not start new phases. They're going to try to sell through their standing inventory. And then they're going to want some pretty hefty deposits to make sure that you don't walk away if you are building a spec home.
Exactly.
But there's definitely a tremendous amount of pain on the new end. And you also got to remember, new homes in Las Vegas have been considerably more expensive than their resale counterparts.
Correct.
And again, when you've got people moving from California with bags of money and you've lived in a home that was built in 1952 for the last 30 years, having a shiny brand new home, it's the dream, but it never made sense. In most cases, brand new homes were so overpriced, it wasn't funny. Now that the resale market is getting hammered and those prices are declining, how is the new home market going to fare? Because they have to come down as well. But that delta between the two that's always existed now becomes brought into the light because now the buyers are taking more time and making more rational decisions. They're going to go, well, yeah, it's a new home, but this much more, $400,000 more?
No, thank you.
That's too much.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a lot of pain for the next year for new home builders. So
yeah. Do you by chance have in front of you, can you pull up August 21 numbers?
August 21 numbers for what?
I would like to know inventory level, median price.
Okay. So right now, as far as single family homes, right now we're sitting at about just over 7,400 homes without offers. Just that's what we're looking at without offers. Active listings without offers, 7,423 homes. Okay. This exact same week last year, we were at 3,300.
Okay.
So yeah. But I mean, to give you an idea, our inventory dropped. We hit a low in February of 1,801 homes. Ooh. So you also have to calculate that this time last year at 3,300, our inventory just kept depleting all the way down to 1,800. And now we're still more than twice where we were last year. So it's even more dramatic than that comparison is illustrating.
Yeah, it's almost 5,000 homes. It's 4,600 homes. That's crazy. And then what was the median price estimate in 21?
So last July, it was 405,000 versus 465 right now. It was static at $405,000 last August as well. Okay. So I'm guessing maybe we'll give back $10,000. I don't
So
want to go too crazy.
450-ish. Yeah,
So
450.
455. I mean, we're still going to be up 11%, no matter how you look at it. But again, that's just an empty caloric
Yeah.
statistic. That's stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, clearly, again, Vegas is the canary, right? It goes first and it goes fast. And to see 20 grand go by in 2 months in Vegas is eye opening. Some of
And
that
guys,
product.
and again, remember, this is during the better time of the year. We lost during June and July. I mean, that is the best time of the year. So if you're getting crushed at the best time where people are making those moves,
The
what the
winter.
hell, what the
Woo!
hell happens? Yeah, when you get to October, November, December, January,
I think I'm gonna have to take a trip out to Vegas in October and just see what's what. I think that's what that means.
let me know.
So, folks, if you want to buy, you want to get on a list, you want to shop like the lumberjack landlord, he is using Brian Lebo, somebody I would use as well. How do you want them to reach out? What's your channel?
Yeah, so the channel is the Lebo Group, Lebo, the Lebo Group. So just go to YouTube, type in the Lebo Group. There's my channel. Subscribe. Every month I put out videos that go over these analytics, and then pretty much about every week now I'm covering whatever valid news information is out there. One of the things I'm going to be covering very hard in the next couple of weeks is discussing the water situation here in Las Vegas, because I'm getting inundated with emails and calls from people concerned about that. So I figured I'll take some time.
Well, I keep hearing that Vegas is just going to dry up and wither away. That's what I keep hearing. It's just what I hear.
It's hard to imagine that we're just going to become a ghost town. Crazier things have happened, I suppose. I highly doubt that that's the scenario. But the crux of it is there's a huge meeting, I believe it's August 17th, where the 5 states that share the Colorado River water, it's an antiquated pact that we had. I think it was created in the 50s. So they're forcing the 5 states to kind of come up with a new pact to determine who gets how much water. And if they can't mediate amongst themselves, then the federal government will step in. But these are really, this is a major issue that is going to get a lot of attention. And then, of course, what kind of restrictions and what disbursement, that's going to be very big. So I'm going to spend some time discussing these issues with you guys. But again, like I said, every week I pretty much discuss one issue regarding real estate in depth. And then, of course, I have property tours. So if you're just interested in seeing, $5 million homes, etc., I put a lot of property tours up so you can kind of see what Las Vegas real estate looks like. And then, of course, Michael and I, we're going to do a really neat project on this channel for you guys, where I'm going to start showing you guys some investment properties here in Las Vegas. So if you are interested in investing, this will kind of acclimate you to the market, give you an idea as far as what investment properties look like, how I operate, and then we'll see how it goes from there.
There you go. Again, thank you for doing that for the channel. I know there's a lot of people that want to be investors in Vegas, and you are the man for that. Again, follow the Lebo Group. And what is your phone number if somebody wanted to buy?
702-257-LEBO. 257-LEBO.
Awesome, buddy. Thanks again.
All right. Thanks, guys.